years.
I'm worried about him. Yeah.
Under any circumstances, a fucking almost 60-year-old man shouldn't be fighting a 27-year-old guy under any circumstances, even if it's Mike Tyson. So
Really?
it's fucking ridiculous.
Now, do you think he can pull it off?
I think Tyson can land a shot. Yeah, if Tyson hits him.
But if Tyson lands it, like, what happens to the internet? Tyson knocks out
my biggest problem with the Jake Paul thing is, and how this plays out, is when he actually fought somebody who was a boxer, who had the same type of record he has, who is his age,
Tommy,
and who is his size, he fucking lost.
Yeah.
So they're never gonna go that fucking route again, right?
Close fight.
And they're trying to pull this whole narrative, like when people, I saw some guy the other day say, when are you gonna stop fighting gimmick fights? You gonna call Mike Tyson a gimmick?
Yeah. It is a gimmick fight, but I found him. I would never fight anything else but gimmick fights.
Jake Paul has just announced the replacement opponent for the Mike Tyson fight. The latest reports suggest that Tyson's face-off against Paul on November 15th might be in jeopardy as the former undisputed heavyweight champion faces rigorous medical evaluations. Health issues necessitated postponing the initial bout, hesitated, raising concerns about Tyson's eligibility to step into the ring. The bout's fate remains uncertain as Tyson must undergo rigorous health evaluations to demonstrate his readiness to face an opponent nearly 3 decades his junior. The Texas Department of Licensing Regulation is adamant about safeguarding against any potential harm to the aging boxer. In November, Tyson must present favorable outcomes from both EEG and EKG assessments to gain entry into the boxing ring. As stated by Tange, the head of communications at Tedor Mange told World Boxing News, at this point, the fight remains an 8-round contest over 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves. As I think I've said before, the department will stay informed about the health of the combatants and will obtain more information if needed to protect their health and safety. The tower emphasized that although holding a fighting license is advantageous, it doesn't automatically ensure participation in the match. Tyson may face a ban if pre-fight assessments deem him unsafe. This rule applies equally to Paul. Tyson's most recent match was in 2020 amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, when he faced off against Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition match. However, the upcoming bout marks a significant shift, as it will be Tyson's inaugural return to the professional ring since his memorable retirement on the stool during a match with Kevin McBride in 2005. After a crushing defeat at the hands of Danny Williams, he found himself a mere echo of his former self as his career drew to a close. Yet nearly 2 decades later, he stands poised, feeling rejuvenated and confident that he can put on a stellar show against Paul. Tyson told the world, "Although we had to postpone the fight, I will resume training shortly. I am thankful to the medical staff that treated me, and to MVP Netflix and T Stadium for working diligently to find the best rescheduled date for all parties. When we have a new date, the result will be the same no matter when we fight." Jake is getting knocked out. However, fans are expressing concern for the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. After his latest video announcement, in the video, he revealed that the new date for his event is November 15th, coinciding with the release of a highly anticipated Netflix series on X. Tyson said that it is a different date, but with the same fate. He declared that he is going to knock out Jake Paul. Different date, the same fate. I'm going knock out Jake Paul. This left fans pondering his readiness as he prepared to step into the ring against a professional fighter almost 3 decades his junior. Thus far, apprehension pervades as people contemplate the potential repercussions of this bout on the double-tile boxing victor, who has been absent from professional fights for nearly 2 decades, not having stepped into the ring since 2020. The level of concern is such that the match will feature reduced rounds, abbreviated durations, and increased glove weight, all aimed at safeguarding him from potential health complications like dementia. Meanwhile, Jeff Fennick, a confidant of Mike Tyson, issues a stark message to Jake Paul. Tyson's current fitness surpasses even his prime of 2 decades past, when he reigned as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Jeff Fennick was the mentor of Tyson as he approached the twilight of his career. He witnessed the abrupt conclusion of a remarkable journey in boxing as he prepares for his professional match. After so many years, Tyson appears formidable, sending shivers down the spine of anyone facing him. Fennett cautions Paul about the magnitude of the challenge ahead. Feck said, "If it was my decision, I'd much prefer him to not fight at all. But he's going to fight. I trained him for his final couple of fights in the mid-2000s. And he seems more switched on now than he did then, however." With Tyson's recent ulcer flare-up at the age of 57, coupled with the heightened intrigue surrounding his match against Paul, many supporters are eager to learn about Tyson's post-fight intentions. Although nothing is set in stone, a former NFL standout has thrown his hat into the ring as a potential contender for Tyson's next bout, should the legendary boxer opt to prolong his improbable return to the sport once hailed as an elite in the NFL. Le'Veon Bell dominated the field with his exception rushing skills. His prowess was evident as he shared the gridiron with luminaries like Patrick Mahomes and later on Tom Brady during his tenure with the Buccaneers. However, transitioning from touchdowns to knockouts, Bell has pivoted to a new arena professional. Boxing his determination now sees him aiming for the pinnacle of the sport with Mike Tyson as his latest challenge. Bell recently reached out on social media, seeking a sparring session with Tyson. Despite his limited experience of just 3 fights, at 32 years old, Bell faced defeat in his debut professional match against former MMA star Uriah Hall in 2022, but managed to secure victories in his following 2 bouts. Bell told Tyson's Sparmy Mike, "If Bell is really serious about facing Mike Tyson, he'll have to wait until Tyson is done with Jake Paul." On the other hand, MMA contender Dylan Dennis alleges he possesses exclusive insights into the postponement of Mike Tyson's fight against Jake Paul. As he criticizes the YouTuber, Dennis unleashed a blistering tirade against Paul for adamantly refusing to cease his pursuit of a bout with Tyson. The American provocatively hinted at possessing undisclosed information regarding the postponement's rationale. Dana said, "I know the reason Mike Tyson had to postpone the fight. I spoke to his close friend and liked Dana White, said he knows but doesn't want to get involved in respect to Mike. It's actually really sad what's going on. Jake Paul, you're truly AAG for knowing what he's going through and not ending this." UFC icon Rampage Jackson has confidently forecasted the outcome of the anticipated showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. "We know that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have a significant age difference that has sparked criticism. Some argue that Paul shouldn't step into the ring with Tyson, while others fear that a potential defeat could tarnish Tyson's legendary career." Rampage Jackson is throwing his support behind Tyson. He believes that Iron has been boxing longer than Paul has been alive. He predicts that Paul will experience Tyson's legendary power in the early rounds and ultimately surrender. Recently, Rampage discussed the subject with guests Jason Mayhem Miller and Luke Rockhold in a Jackson podcast episode. He said Mike Tyson is going to knock him out. Rockhold and Miller expressed their doubts. Rampage stuck to his guns, saying within 2 rounds Mike Tyson is going to win. Mike Tyson has been boxing longer than Jake Paul has been alive. You ever seen that viral video where the old white man beats the out of the young white dude? That's what I think's going to happen." Mayhem Miller questioned Tyson's endurance. "At this age," Rampage replied, "Jake Paul will probably give up by then. He won't make it that far." Meanwhile, UFC legend Dan Hardy doubts that Paul's fight with Tyson will go ahead. Hardy doubted that the battle would really start before it was pushed back. He said, "It's a weird matchup, I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if it actually happens. I think there's a lot of days between now and then for something to happen and the fight to not take place." Even though Hardy wasn't sure about the matchup, he called Paul a mastermind marketer for picking Tyson to face next. He added, "This for me is Jake Paul, the mastermind marketer, because he had a couple of fights against people no one was really interested in." And he lost a bit of momentum in the limelight, Hardy further added, so fighting Mike Tyson is the ideal thing for Jake Paul to do to get back in the conversation. And it's worth everybody has got an opinion on this fight. Do you want to see it should it be happening? Can Mike Tyson beat Jake Paul? Does Jake Paul have a chance against Mike Tyson? Even though he's almost 60 years old on the night of the fight, Tyson will turn 58. Yet the outlaw remains steadfast in his belief that Tyson can achieve a remarkable upset victory. Against his 27-year-old opponent, Hardy concluded it's a very odd fight. I would never, ever count Mike Tyson out. He's got that fire in his eyes, you can still see it. And he still moves very, very well at the same time Jake Paul is a young, big, powerful athlete. And he's got the chance to fight Mike Tyson that brings an extra level of anxiety for you surely. We know that Paul and Tyson were both making jabs at one another in the build-up to the fight. Nonetheless, they also shared a sense of respect and friendship with the announcement of the new date. We know that Tyson released a little video on the internet in which he threatens Paul with dire consequences. The video of Tyson threatening Jake Paul in announcing the fight's new date heralds the arrival of Iron Mike, a man who once gave many heavyweight contenders the willies. Following that there has been an interesting advancement in this saga, the world is well aware of Hollywood actor Sylvester Stallone's intense passion for boxing that is demonstrated by his breakthrough film and the most lucrative film franchise of his career, Rocky. It's interesting to note that Stallone's product platform supported Tyson for the fight, while alerting Jake Paul to what might occur on fight night. In response to Tyson's warning video to Paul, the comment on Tyson's video by SCE Stallone shop TKO Iron Mick, there's only one champ in that ring.